welcome to Craft RPG. Today, I will be making a rope bridge using nothing more than a couple pieces of cheap twine, some popsicle sticks, hot glue, and paint. To start the project, I first laid out some ropes or the twine parallel to each other. Here I'm using some poster putty to hold the ends nice and taut. I kind of measure the surface using one of my bridge deck pieces. For those bridge deck pieces, or the surface, I'm just using some sticks cut into about 2 inches or 5 centimeter pieces. And then once I have the ropes situated where I want them, I just start applying some hot glue. And here I'm starting in the middle, but you could just as easily start on an end. I'll simply dab on a small bit of hot glue and, oh wait, I forgot to put down some parchment paper first so that the hot glue doesn't stick to the table or to the yellow paper underneath. You need to use parchment or baking paper. Wax paper does not work. I've been using this piece for several months now. You can see by a little bit of brown paint there in the corner. A single sheet will last a long time. Once I'll have all the deck pieces into place here in a moment as I get everything glued on, I'll kind of speed up the video a little bit so we don't have to spend lots of time watching how to apply hot glue to a string. It's a fairly simple procedure. And so once I have all the deck pieces glued on, I will go ahead and clean up a little bit of the hot glue, little threads that get everywhere, but then I'll go ahead and work on just flipping that bridge over. For the most part, it's a pretty simple process because that parchment paper, that glue just does not stick to it. I'll just clean up a little bit there, release the poster putty, and flip the bridge over. And I kind of put the poster putty just back down to keep the bridge from sliding all over as I work with it there. And I'm just taking the hot glue gun there, the hot tip of it, and pushing it into that glue and kind of melting it back up a little bit and kind of getting it to flow into those strings. Then I'll just flip the bridge back over and take a look at it, make sure nothing's going to fall off, making sure the glue's holding. So I'll flip it back over again, kind of clean up, a last cleanup before the painting stage. Or if you want to, you can also make some uprights. And I'm going to go ahead in this video demonstrate how to make some uprights before it's painted. But you could just as easily go ahead and just paint it right here and have a great looking bridge at your table. To make those upright, so I give a little bit of a sway to the bridge, I cut a couple of pieces of stick that are about twice as wide as the bridge. And then I will make some upright sections that are about half the length of the individual planks of the bridge. Here you can see I'm using my template stick, so I don't have to get out the ruler every time, and it's just faster and easier if you just have a template stick like that where you work off of. So I make sure everything's square. Just draw a quick square line there with my cheap square I got from the hardware store. And to cut popsicle sticks, I love to use this wire cutter. It's just a really inexpensive wire cutter I picked up. It makes nice clean lines. If you get a little bit of excess, you can always just kind of trim that off with the scissors. But for the most part, it makes a nice clean line there. It does take a little bit of practice to get used to using it because you have to line up that line on the cutting edge. But it works really, really well. And here you can just see I'm making some even smaller sections here as kind of some brace or some supports for that upright section so that the hot glue doesn't have to do all the work trying to hold everything up and together. And that way it's more durable and you can move it around a little bit on the table or for storage. And I'll make enough here to do both sides. You can see here I'm just once again creating just a little tiny bit of excess there, kind of trimming everything down, getting it the length that I want, and I just kind of eyeballed all of this. There's no like ratios or anything to any of this. It's just kind of whatever looks good to you. In this case, I started out twice as wide as my planks and decided to make them a little bit shorter, those cross pieces there that'll be holding the upright pieces. So to do the upright pieces, just kind of lay the ropes on there to make sure that the widths are right, and put down my first little bit of glue and hold it there for just a few seconds. That's the nice thing about hot glue, is it goes really quick. But as you can see, it is starting to fall over. So here I'm adding the little bit of extra support. And between those two pieces, that piece is going to stay upright because of that glue that's holding that all together. And you get a kind of a good shot. There's kind of an L shaped. And a little bit of cleanup again, because hot glue loves to make a mess. And then I'll go on and continue to do this with all of the other sections. First, I'm going to just quickly measure and see where I should put the next upright section, and I want that to line up with the ropes exactly. So the easiest way to do that, just set that right on the bridge, make sure the rope is right there where you want it to be, and then just add a bit of hot glue again and attach your next piece. And once again, with the little piece on the bottom to help the extra support to hold that upright into place. It's all a very quick process. I got once again a little bit of excess glue oozed out, but cleanup of that's pretty quick and easy there. You want to let it cool a little bit before you pinch it off, but you do want to pinch it off before it dries. That's the fastest way to clean it up. So I just kind of a quick little test fit there, and then I went ahead and made the other one. I didn't show that in the video, but the process is exactly the same for the other side. So now I'm ready to go ahead and attach it to my bridge. So I just put a little bit of hot glue all the way around the very top of the upright piece, and then I'll just wrap the rope around that. It'll kind of give the illusion of a knot without having to spend a bunch of time tying a knot. And you could get more elaborate with how you're going to wrap this up. You could make it, I don't know, some crisscrosses or something else to make it look more like a bridge type knot, but I found just wrapping it around just looked fine, especially at the gaming table. So once again, just do that for the other side. Just get the hot glue and wrap it or run it all the way around, and then wrap that twine right through that glue, and it'll attach right onto that upright piece and give that little bit of lift that I was looking for. Now minis can still stand on that because I didn't want to go too high. That's why I ended up cutting those pieces down a little bit. Otherwise it would have been too tall and minis might have slid off. But this way it's a little bit of an upright, but you can still set a mini on it and they're not going to slide off. So here I'm just trimming up a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and attach the other side the same way I did this one. And here you can see I have both sides finished. And now we're on to painting after just a little bit more cleanup. So for painting, I just took some white paint and put a little bit of black paint in there and a little bit of green paint in there. Basically, I was looking for kind of a mint green type of paint, because once that dries on that wood, it's going to be a little bit darker. And after that, I'm actually going to do a black wash on it. So you can see here, I'm just kind of stirring my paint up. Keep adding it until you get the color that you're looking for. Some yellows might have looked good here too. Once I get everything stirred up, I just liberally apply the paint, and it's just a cheap brush, just kind of slopping it on there and everywhere except for the ropes. I didn't want to get any paint on the ropes, but then I ended up getting paint on the ropes anyway, so that's just how that worked out. But so you might want to take a little bit more time and make sure you don't get any paint on your ropes between the slats there, or the deck pieces on the bridge. So to do that black wash, I just add a little bit of water and a little bit of black paint, and just right into the mint green paint that I had left over, and stirred that around here. And now I'm just using a stir stick from a coffee place. So I just take my brush and just dab some of that black paint onto it, and once I get it kind of smeared and dabbed on how I want, I go ahead and grab just a dry brush and just kind of almost wipe it off with that brush. Just kind of run it back and forth until it is how I want it there, and then it's basically ready. You can use it at the gaming table as soon as that paint dries, and it looks good and it's easy to use. Thanks for watching. I hope this was informative, and please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Thank you.